Ciao, I'm Mary Ann Esposito. Today at La Scuola Culinaria in Salem, New Hampshire at Tuscan Market with a few of my friends and you at home. How could we mess up? We're making lamb shanks. And that's all there is to it. I mean, cooking doesn't have to be complicated. Add the cream. So about a half a cup of heavy cream goes in here. You did a great job, Mary Ellen.
Thank you, Mary.
Over the base of the pan. It's a little rumba action.
I've got a relatively clean hand to work with.
I always say you have to keep that hand clean so you can answer the phone.
There you go.
Yeah. Ciao! You did both so well. You did really, really well. That was beautiful. I think you should keep that.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, absolutely. Lamb shanks. Maybe you've never had them, but today we're going to make them kind of abruzzese style, southern Italy. So when you buy lamb shanks, you can either get the shank that's from the front of the leg, the fore shank, or you can get the shank that's from the back of the leg, the hind shank. The fore shank has a lot more flavor and is more meaty. So this is the fore shank. So that's just below the knee. And when you buy them, they have this nice silver skin on them, see? So you want to make sure that you talk to your butcher and you make sure that you get the right cut. So the first thing we want to do, because these are going to be braised in some liquid, is take them and dry them off on some paper towel, because you want your salt and pepper really to really adhere to that. So I just take a couple sheets of paper towel, take these shanks, and you can see they're rather big. So one of these can serve 2 people. And they're on the bone, obviously, because the bone is where you're going to get a lot of that flavor. How many of you have eaten lamb shanks? Okay, so you probably prepared them this way. So you want to dry them off fairly well. And when you're working with meat, you want to work on a plastic surface, maybe use a plastic meat tray. You don't really want to do this on your counter because you don't want to contaminate everything. So you just want to dry them off some. So once you do that, well, now I can take these off because my hands now will be clean, and just leave those over there. We're going to take some salt on both of them. Give them a good shaking of salt and some coarse black pepper. And then what I do is just take that paper back over the top, turn them, and just kind of press on the paper so that the salt and pepper really gets into that. Then just take the paper, turn it over to the other side, more salt, more pepper. So that's an easy way to do it. So again, you want to make sure that it's really stuck in there, more salt and more pepper. So they should be really well seasoned. And that's all we have to do to them. Now, when they're like this, the first thing we have to do is braise them, or really brown them in a little bit of olive oil in a Dutch oven, or you could do this in a big saute pan that can go in the oven. So we want to get some olive oil in a pan and get these going. So we have a couple tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil in a Dutch oven, and here are those shanks. So we want to brown these well on both sides. And that is going to take a little time, about 5 minutes, because you really want to seal in that flavor. So don't rush this process. And while these are browning, I'll tell you what else goes in with this. So while the shanks are braising away slowly by themselves, just browning nicely, we're going to talk about what goes in the sauce part of this. So for this, we want to have some tomato, so pureed tomato, about 2 cups of pureed tomatoes, and 2 cups of wine. So here's 2 cups of red wine. Any wine that you like to drink is a perfect wine to use in cooking. And then we want to have some beef stock. I'm not going to put all of this in. I'm going to put about a cup in. And as this cooks in the oven, I'm going to then, taste it and see if it needs any more liquid. So I save a little bit aside. So you want to mix all of that together. And then with it, we want a bay leaf. And you want to leave those whole because you don't want to break it up. It could get stuck, in the sauce, and then if you get a little piece of that in your throat, you'll be coughing and doing all sorts of things. So leave it whole. You can fish it out at the end. And then to boost up the flavor even more, we have bouillon cubes. So here's what they look like when you buy them in the store. I've used one here that I've crushed up. So I'm going to put one crushed up beef bouillon cube in there. And then you're going to want some tomato paste. You can buy it in a jar like that, or you can get it in a tube. If you buy it in the tube, it's a lot easier to keep it in the refrigerator. So here we have about a tablespoon of the tomato paste. That's going to go in. And you really give that a good mix. So this is what these shanks are going to cook in and make a beautiful sauce for them. So we give this just a smidge of salt because we already have that in the beef stock, and a grinding of black pepper. Now I've got to go back because those shanks are singing to me. So now we can take the shanks out. You see how nice they have browned. Take them out, and then in those drippings, we're going to add 1 onion chopped up, 1 carrot. Get that going a little bit. And a garlic clove. So now we're going to let this cook just until the onions start to wilt down a little bit. Now we can put the shanks back in right on top of those aromatic vegetables, just like that, and add our sauce. Give that a quick stir. Your oven is on at 325 degrees. This is going to cook at least for a couple of hours. So this is one of those fix it and forget it dinners. So we're going to put this in the oven, and I'm going to show you what goes with this. Fennel, also known as finocchio in Italian, right? Finocchio. And if you've never eaten it, you have missed out, because this is a vegetable that has a lot of possibilities. You can eat it raw, which is what a lot of Italians do. Just eat it raw, put it in your salad, or eat it after your salad. Or you can cook it. And I love it cooked, roasted in the oven, and it goes perfectly with the lamb. So when you buy it, you have all these beautiful fronds. The whole thing is edible. So the fronds can go into soups and stews. The bulb you can put into a salad or a soup. It's all edible. So when you get it in the grocery store, it comes like this, and sometimes it has a few little brown spots on it. So you can just take those off. You don't want to take off this part and then throw it away, because that's all good flavor. So you really want to just take off that excess, any little brown spots that you see. And then for this recipe, we are going to roast it. So your oven's going to be on at 350, and you want a little olive oil on a pan. So a couple tablespoons of olive oil on a pan. Just move it around with a little brush, and have your oven set at 350 degrees. So we're going to set that aside. So then back to the fennel. So you want to cut it at the base like that, and then just make some thin slices. This is so wonderful when it cooks because it's sweet. It gets very, very sweet. This has a nice licorice flavor when it's raw, but when it's roasted, it has just a beautiful sweet taste, and I love it. So that's about enough. We're going to put it in a bowl, just like that. You don't want it too thin because you don't want it to really, burn. Now we're going to give that a little extra virgin olive oil, a couple little shakes, a little pepper, and some salt, just a tad. Now we just want to mix that up, get it all really mixed well. And that's all there is to it. I mean, cooking doesn't have to be complicated. This is very simple. And we're just going to dump it onto our board, or our tray rather. Spread it out. Your oven's on at 350 degrees. This is probably going to take, about 20 or 25 minutes to cook. It's going to be delicious. So in it goes. We'll check that 20 minutes later, but meanwhile, we're not done. We have another wonderful vegetable for you, a bean, which is right here. These beans, these are pole beans, but this is a really special pole bean because this is something called Meraviglia di Venezia. It has a beautiful name, and that means the marvel of Venice. And this is a very buttery, beautiful, slender pole bean that we grow in our garden. And when we grow it, it just lasts and lasts and lasts. As we're picking them, they start coming out more profusely. We have these way into October. And the best way to have these beans is with just a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper. So they're ready to go into the pot. So we're going to do that now. So here are the Meraviglia di Venezia. I love saying that. This beautiful pole bean that is now absolutely perfect. It's going to go great with fennel. So our fennel is roasted, and you see how much that cooked down. It's almost like potato chips. I'm going to put it right in this bowl. 20 minutes. You really need a lot of it because it really cooks down to nothing. Kind of like spinach. You have this big bunch of spinach, and all of a sudden you cook it, and there's nothing left. So we're going to add the Meraviglia di Venezia, the pole beans, to this. Give that a little stir. And the fennel is going to add just a nice little sweetness to this. And then with it, I want some of those fennel fronds. So we'll just cut these up. Give them a little chop, because I did tell you that the entire vegetable is edible. I also like these fronds when I'm doing like a salmon dish or any other kind of fish dish. It's really good with that. And as you cut them, it just smells so fresh and licoricey. So I'm going to put that in there. Then we want some pepper, a little bit of salt, pinch of salt, some olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, of course. We all know that that's the olive oil that comes from the very first pressing of the olives. And then we just want to mix this up. And now you can begin to see how we're building flavors to go with that braised lamb shank. So that's all there is to this. And we're going to set this aside. The lamb shanks are cooking, the beans and the fennel are done. The only thing we have to do now is make un'insalata. So most people, would probably grab a head of romaine or some spinach or iceberg. Nope. Today we are making our lettuce salad with sorrel. Sorrel looks like spinach. It's got a very lemony taste. It's an herb. You can grow it in your garden. You can also buy it in the grocery store. So this is just an inspirational salad that comes from my garden. So we want some lemony tasting sorrel leaves. Beautiful. Also cooked. The French like to use sorrel when they do, sorrel soup. But I think it's absolutely fabulous, just raw, because you get that nice lemon taste, a little kick here or there, and it's really, really refreshing. And it's going to be great after a meal of lamb. So there's our sorrel. And then in addition to this, we have something called arugula. This is arugula. I grow this in my garden as well. And it's peppery. It's got a little peppery taste. So this is the kind of salad that has a little bit of a, a wake-up zing to it. So you just take the leaves off the stem. And as I'm doing this, you can almost, just smell that peppery flavor. And also it's got a little bit of a mustard taste to it too. So and there are various types of the arugula. This is the sawtooth variety because it has, these kind of sawtooth looking leaves. And so some of that goes in. And then we want this. This is the star of our salad bowl, radicchio. This is a chicory. This is a lettuce, a chicory that's becoming popular in the States, but years ago, it never was. So this red-veined, beautiful-looking radicchio is something that really hails from northern Italy, around Treviso. I don't know if you've ever heard of the radicchio di Treviso, which is an elongated version of this round head. This is the type that we buy here in the States, and that's called chioggia. This is the chioggia type as opposed to the elongated one, which is the radicchio di Treviso. So there is our salad mix. Now, what do Italians put on their salads in terms of a dressing? Yes, extra virgin olive oil, salt, and vinegar, red wine vinegar. So let's move this out of the way, show you how this goes. So in here, we have the salad ingredients, and here we have some vinegar, red wine vinegar, and we have some extra virgin olive oil, and we need salt. So I'm going to mix it all in here. So I'm going to put the vinegar in here. And when we do a dressing in Italy, we usually do 1 part of olive oil to 2 or 3 parts of vinegar, depending on how vinegary you like it. So I'm going to put the salt in with the vinegar because it will dissolve more readily than if you try to put that in your salad, just sprinkling it on top. So this is much better. So dissolve the salt in the vinegar. Then you dribble in your olive oil. Sort of like you're making an emulsion. So you want about, a tablespoon. I used about 2 tablespoons of the vinegar to a tablespoon of the olive oil. I'm just eyeballing this because I make a lot of these. Once you have that, then you just want to pour that over your salad ingredients. Get a couple tossing spoons. So you give it a really good toss. When you eat this, you're going to know that you're tasting something unique and different. It's going to go great at the end of our meal. So there you have it, insalata, Italian style. Today, we made lamb shanks, braised. And here it is, all ready to eat with some polenta, just some fried polenta. Remember, we had those aromatic vegetables, the carrots and the onions. We have a little parsley and rosemary now. It's a great dish. You can fix it and forget it. And to go with it, these beautiful beans, the Meraviglia di Venezia that I talked to you about, with the roasted fennel. Great combination. And to end that dinner, how about a really nifty salad made with radicchio and arugula and sorrel. And until I see you nella cucina again, I'm Mary Ann Esposito. Ciao. My travels have taken me to the region of Liguria, and I know it for sure when I hear the roar of the sea and I look at these olives. They're just starting to turn, and when they're dark purple, these will be raked off the tree and made into olive oil. But the other reason I'm here is because I am in search of the best basil there is, and there is no better grown than in the region of Liguria. See this right here? Basilico Genovese, DOP, Denominazione Origine protetta. In other words, this basil, Genovese basil, can only be made here. And this is the basil that is used to make pesto sauce. And it needs a small leaf because it has a better, delicate flavor than a big leaf basil would have. And the Genovese actually take out that little center vein right there. You see that? That's all taken out. All of this on this particular farm is harvested by hand. And they can plant basil year-round. So it takes just a few days for it to germinate. There are carpets of this particular basil all over this particular farm, but there are many, many types of basil. Over 60, I believe they told me. So at home, obviously, you want to use the smallest leaf basil that you can find. You may not be getting this, but please make it by hand. Just look in here. You can see all of the basil that's being grown and the boards that obviously they use to walk on to harvest the basil. See how small the leaf is? Small leaf basil makes the best pesto.
Ho voluto cominciare a fare le serre e da lì ho cominciato a fare basilico dal 1983.
Okay, in 1983 he finished his study. It's when he finished his study, and he started to come here in the company that his father established, and it's where he had the idea of starting with the basil.
Alle ultime si lascia venire il basilico un pochettino più grande.
The last ones they let it grow a little bigger.
Qua va per la gastronomia, per il ristorante, per la massaia.
Brava, sei veramente in gamba, capisci?
No.
Brava.
Senti, come sempre c'è una piccola differenza, pur avendo usato gli stessi ingredienti, tra uno e l'altro.
One for Massimo.
Grazie, grazie.
Bravo. YouTube. I sent this to you on YouTube.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah, I will.
No, c'è la staffa. Non ce la fai perché ormai si è schiacciato nella staffa. Vai a strociare.
Quando arriva al fondo, non si può.